Forget the headlines. Forget the daily market noise. Because underneath the surface, the largest coordinated financial maneuver in a century is underway. It's a silent, high-stakes game of economic warfare. The US dollar's 80-year reign as the world's reserve currency is being systematically dismantled, not by a single crash, but by a quiet, calculated campaign led by the world's fastest-growing economies, the BRICS nations. They are not asking for change. They are demanding it. Today, the Shadow Vault breaks down the 4 undeniable data points proving the shift is irreversible and why your wealth needs to move before the new system is fully implemented. Stay with us. The system is changing and you need to know where the money is going. Let's start with the data. Global central banks' holdings in US dollars have fallen from over 70% of reserves to approximately 58% and dropping. Who's doing the selling? The BRICS bloc. We must understand the doctrine of the dollar weapon. In 2022, the freezing of nearly $300 billion of Russian central bank assets was the ultimate wake-up call. For these nations, the dollar is no longer a neutral reserve currency. It's a financial blackmail tool. This shift is fundamentally a sovereignty and security decision. They are selling dollars to insulate their economies from Western coercion. The real killer is in trade settlement. Over 90% of Russian trade with China and India is now settled in non-dollar currencies, rupees, rubles, and yuan. Furthermore, the Petrodollar initiative between China and the Gulf states poses a direct existential threat to the petrodollar system. If major oil producers begin accepting the yuan for even 10% of their oil sales, the cascade effect on global dollar demand would be massive. Every non-dollar transaction is a brick pulled from the dollar's foundation. This is the quiet, structural change the headlines ignore. The next piece of evidence proves the BRICS plan is long-term and irreversible. Gold. Why are central banks buying gold at record-breaking multi-decade rates? Because gold is neutral. It is the only asset that is no one's liability, and it cannot be sanctioned. China is reporting purchasing gold for the 18th consecutive month. Russia, meanwhile, has stockpiled over 2,300 tons. They are preparing for a system where their currencies are backed or heavily influenced by tangible assets. This is a deliberate, synchronized attempt to build a new financial infrastructure outside of Western control. The narrative is, if we can't trust your paper, we will revert to history's ultimate money. What's truly alarming is that the official central bank figures likely understate the real purchases. Why? Because if China or Russia revealed the true scale of their gold reserves, it would ignite the market and ruin their plan to buy at a discounted price. They are buying quietly to get the best possible price before the new system is launched. They are also reducing reliance on the IMF's special drawing rights, SDRs, another paper asset that is now deeply suspect. Gold is the silent answer to the failure of global monetary management. There is a clear historical correlation. Every time global debt reaches record levels, as it is now, the price of gold rises because it acts as an indicator of lost trust in fiat currencies. Central banks are simply swapping debt promises for physical gold, protecting themselves from the inflation caused by the unprecedented volume of money printing. The BRICS nations are not just dismantling the old system. They are actively building a parallel one. This is the third pillar of their strategic game. What does the BRICS alternative look like? It's not just about their national currencies. It's about a proposed BRICS Reserve Currency. This currency would likely be commodity-backed, potentially anchored by gold, oil, and strategic minerals, giving it tangible value unlike the current fiat system. Historically, this has happened before. Consider the shift from the sterling, pound, to the US dollar after the Bretton Woods Conference in 1944. That transition was messy, painful, and it wiped out the global dominance of an entire empire. BRICS is betting on a similar geopolitical pivot, but this time it's orchestrated by the East. The key is the institutional bypass. They are creating their own financial infrastructure, the New Development Bank, NDB, often called the BRICS Bank. This institution serves as an alternative to the World Bank and the IMF, offering development loans in local currencies, further eroding the need for the dollar. This parallel system serves two main goals: de-risking from US sanctions and establishing supremacy in global development finance. The timeline for this official BRICS currency is aggressive, with continuous high-level discussions pushing for an implementation before the end of the decade. The clock is ticking, and this new system will not be kind to those holding only paper assets in the old reserve currency. So, if the largest economic shift in a generation is happening, what does it mean for your portfolio? The consequences are severe. 1. Imported inflation. As the world uses fewer dollars, the dollar will inevitably lose purchasing power, driving up the cost of imported goods in your local currency. This means sustained, painful inflation is a structural necessity to manage the debt. You must reevaluate your concept of savings. Cash that doesn't earn a return is evaporating in value. 2. Market volatility. The transition phase will be marked by extreme market swings. This chaos creates massive risks, but also massive opportunities for those who are prepared. 3. Hard assets are the future. The BRICS nations are sending a crystal-clear signal. You must look at real assets, real estate, farmland, or equities tied to tangible goods, energy, mining, as a means of defense. Your goal must be to own assets the central bank cannot print. The BRICS gold game is not a prediction of collapse, it's a forecast of transition. The global monetary page is turning and the time for complacency is over. To prepare, you must focus on diversifying outside of financialized paper assets, understanding the real value of tangible goods like precious metals, staying informed on the geopolitical moves that change your bank account. If this deep dive into the silent war on the dollar changed how you view global power, hit the subscribe button now. The next episode on the Shadow Vault will reveal the top 3 currencies to own when the dollar shift is complete. Don't miss the future of your wealth. This is the Shadow Vault. Thanks for watching.